We hold the cards. We have objectives. Those objectives are clear. We can hold anything at issue. Anything. The United States military controls the fate of that country.
We're not giving a nuclear weapon to terrorist thugs, and we're knocking the hell out of them. Their Navy's gone, their Air Force is gone, their leaders are gone, their anti-aircraft is gone, everything's gone.
In the last 48 hours, the United States military flew B-52 Stratofortress bombers from England deep into Iranian airspace and systematically destroyed Iran's missile positions, its navy, its air force, and its anti-aircraft defenses. Gone. All of it. Gone. And the man in charge summed it up in 5 words. We hold the cards. We have objectives. Tonight I'm going to show you exactly what happened, the specific bombers, the exact weapons, the flight path, and, most importantly, what comes next for the Strait of Hormuz, the world's most critical oil choke point. Stay with me. This will change how you see this conflict. Let's start with one number. 21 million barrels. That is how much oil passes through the Strait of Hormuz every single day. That is roughly 21% of the world's entire oil supply, flowing through a waterway that, at its narrowest point, is only 21 miles wide. If that strait closes, even for a week, oil prices do not go up 10%. They spike 40%, 50%, potentially more. That is your heating bill. That is your grocery bill. That is airlines grounding flights. That is a global recession trigger sitting inside a body of water the size of a small sea. Iran has spent decades threatening to close it. They have mined it before. They have seized tankers. They have fired at shipping. Their entire military doctrine in the Gulf is built around one idea. If we go down, we take the global economy with us. That doctrine just got tested by 8 engines and 70,000 pounds of bombs. Here is the operation, step by step. On March 20th, the British government formally approved the use of 2 U.S. facilities on British soil, Royal Air Force Station Fairford in Gloucestershire and Diego Garcia in the Indian Ocean. This gave the United States its forward launch platforms. At RAF Fairford, the ground crews went to work. Mechanics swarmed the 8 Pratt & Whitney TF-33 engines on each B-52H Stratofortress, inspecting turbine blades, checking hydraulics, testing fuel lines. MJ-1 jammer trucks, hydraulic munitions loaders, pulled up to the aircraft one by one. What they loaded was significant. Each B-52H carries up to 70,000 pounds of weapons. For this mission, 2,000-pound Mark 84 general-purpose bombs, AGM-86C conventional air-launched cruise missiles, capable of striking hardened targets from over 600 miles away, and GBU-31 JDAM precision-guided bombs for the missile storage bunkers. The weapons were locked onto the rotary launcher inside the bomb bay, a rotating drum that holds 8 cruise missiles, allowing the aircraft to deliver its entire payload in rapid sequence without interrupting its flight profile. 2 B-52s launched together. 4 hours and 30 minutes to target. Southeast across Europe, across the Mediterranean, into Iranian airspace. When the radar navigator, the bombardier on the lower deck, confirmed the target coordinates on his 4 screens, the bomb bay doors opened. The rotary launcher spun. Bombs and missiles fell. Iranian missile positions ceased to exist. The detail most media missed. These aircraft did not fly home directly. Per mission plan, they diverted to Sofia Airport in Bulgaria for a refueling stop, maintaining operational flexibility and preserving range for follow-on tasking. Now, here is what Iran still has, and why this is not over. The Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps retains its land-based missile inventory in hardened underground facilities. Not all of them were struck. They have ballistic missiles capable of reaching U.S. carrier groups. They have fast attack boats in the Gulf that can swarm shipping lanes. And they have proxy forces across Iraq, Yemen, and Lebanon who are watching this unfold right now. Tehran has not responded publicly. That silence is strategic. They are calculating, because the next move they make will either invite further escalation or lock in a negotiated off-ramp. The question nobody is asking: what happens if they choose door number 1? While the B-52s were operating at altitude, Here is what was happening at sea level. The United States Navy has carrier strike groups positioned in the region. A carrier strike group is not just an aircraft carrier. It is a floating airbase surrounded by Aegis cruisers capable of intercepting ballistic missiles, attack submarines, and destroyers equipped with Tomahawk cruise missiles. The naval presence serves two purposes simultaneously. First, it is a deterrent. Iran's navy, per the statement we opened with, is already severely degraded. Second, it is a guarantee. If Iran attempts to mine the Strait or position fast attack boats to threaten tanker traffic, those assets are gone within hours. The military objective being executed here is not conquest. It is not regime change. It is one very specific goal: freedom of navigation through the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. is building a maritime coalition around that objective. Allies with naval assets in the region are coordinating. Escort missions for commercial shipping are being discussed. The message being sent to every tanker operator on Earth: the Strait will remain open. Meanwhile, an additional B-52 is already in the air, ferried across the Atlantic from a U.S. base, refueled by a KC-135 tanker mid-ocean, headed to RAF Fairford. Strike operations are not winding down. They are ramping up. Iran now faces three options. Let me be precise about what each one costs. Option 1. Escalate. Launch remaining missiles at U.S. assets. Activate proxies. Attempt to mine the Strait. Cost. The remaining hardened facilities get struck. The regime's survival, not just its military, comes into question. This is the option that ends the Islamic Republic as a functional state. Option 2. Go quiet. Stop all offensive action. Allow the strikes to stand. Make no public response. Cost. Domestic credibility collapses. The Revolutionary Guard, which is a political force as much as a military one, loses its reason for existing. This option is internally destabilizing. Option 3. Negotiate through back-channel. Allow a third party, Qatar, Oman, Turkey, to open a line to Washington. Accept a face-saving formula. Announce that Iran has chosen restraint in the interest of the Iranian people. My analysis: Option 3 is where this ends. Not because Iran wants it, but because options 1 and 2 are existential. The regime's first priority is survival. And survival right now requires the phone call nobody will admit is happening. Here are the numbers that define this conflict. 1.70 thousand lbs, maximum weapons payload of a single B-52H Stratofortress 2,600 plus miles, standoff range of the AGM-86C cruise missile. Iran never saw them coming. 3.21 million barrels, oil transiting Hormuz every day. That is what this war is ultimately protecting. 4.21 miles, the width of the Strait of Hormuz at its narrowest, the most valuable 21 miles on Earth. 4.5 hours. Flight time from RAF Fairford to the Iranian target area, one way. 6.2 bombers launched, one more already crossing the Atlantic. The operation is ongoing. The B-52 was designed in the 1950s. It has been flying combat missions for 70 years, and tonight it just reshaped the Middle East. If you want to understand what happens in the next 72 hours, Iran's next move, the naval situation, and whether oil markets hold, subscribe right now. We are covering this in real time, and drop one word in the comments. Open. If you think the Strait stays open, or closed, if you think Iran has one more move left. I'll see you in the next one.